It's the final day of Kiel Woche 2015. Welcome to our global coverage of the largest sailing festival in the world from Kiel in northern Germany on the shores of the Baltic. We have another day of action for you in the Musto performance skiffs, and the weather on the final day is just like the weather on the first day. Sunny, blue skies, and some lovely weather indeed, and we've got a good breeze out there as well. So everything is set for a grand climax to Kiel Woche 2015. It's going to be fun, it's going to be enjoyable. Mark Rhodes is in the studio with me to crunch all the data in the SAP Analytics equipment here. A few minutes to go to the start of this race. Here's the course.
So away from that start line, the direct windward leg up towards the shore. I'm going to be coming down on that sausage course. Gate at the bottom, so a choice of marks. Returning back up to the top. Straight back down again for a fast and furious downwind leg with kites. Return to the windward and then ignore the gate and straight through run to the finish.
So 6 legs. How long are we looking at for a race given the wind conditions at the moment, approximately?
Given the wind conditions and the speeds, probably 30 to 40 minutes.
With 15 seconds to go to the start, they all seem to be a little bit reserved, but now they fill their sails and they're accelerating away, and the Musto performance skiffs get their 11th race of the regatta away with GBR 302. Dan Kilsby leading off the line. The Netherlands and the Swiss soon move to the front though, but this is that time in the race. There's an individual recall we're hearing from the jury boat, which I think, well, we'll get the details on that momentarily, but at the moment a sort of a rough guide. Here we go, we can have a better look. So Kilsby out of the blocks first, out too early, and has to go round and start again, giving Kuipers of the Netherlands the lead.
Yeah, so really early, accelerated, plenty of time still left on the clock, no chance to slowing the boat down. He just has to go round that pin end, go straight into a jibe and now heads out. But a costly mistake, was very early on that line, so whether he had the time right could have certainly cost him this race.
So Dan Kilsby making a big error at the start in his first Kiel Woche. But the first man around the windward mark is from Holland, Paul Dijkstra, the 2013 Dutch champion, who has been in the lead for a lot of this leg. It's been a bit of a seesaw leg, hasn't it, really? We've had the lead change a few times, but it looks like the fleet is settling now as Dijkstra gets his black spinnaker launched. And then Alistair Conn rounds the mark as well. Quite a slow rounding here.
Yeah, so the breeze has gone very light at this top end of the mark. Give the guys a bit of a chance. You can see them drop down onto that knee to hoist these Jennikers. There's no crew to do it. It's all down to them. And then get themselves set up. But you can see that darker patch up in the top end of the picture. And certainly we've got the Dutch sailor of Dijkstra making his way out towards that side. So I'm sure when he hits that breeze, we're going to start to see some bit more pressure, and he'll accelerate away. But interesting, we got Kilsby up here as well.
And he was the one. Away. Right,
that's it. Kilsby was the one over the line at the start, so we saw him round that pin end and accelerate away out towards the other side. He had to duck a lot of boats, but because he got out to that right-hand side early where we can see that breeze, been very dominant. I'm surprised with these guys heading down this side of the course as much as they are. We're starting to see a few guys peel off now towards that other side of the course, but we can see Dan Kilsby here, yellow spinnaker. He's out on the trapeze now. He's got pressure. The boat accelerates, the white water coming away, so he's got very good breeze out this side. But I'm surprised that not more people joined Dirkstra on the other side of the course.
And then there comes a point, I suppose, when you look at the left side of the course, or you look at the other side of the course, depending on whether you're watching it on the TV or whether you're sailing it, and you see someone go that way and you think, oh, I wish I'd gone that way. But at what point do you say, you know, I've come this far down this side, I've got to stick with this?
Well, it's constantly looking back across the racecourse, making a decision earlier than later. And if we've all been in the position where you end up sort of sunk to one side, thinking it's looking okay, and then it just starts to look worse and worse. And the earlier you get across and accept a bit of a loss, the better. Sometimes we see people hang on and hang on and hang on, and it just gets worse and doesn't get better. But as we've seen there, Kilsby looked fantastic. 2-3 knots quicker of boat speed down that right-hand side. But from that dark patch of breeze early on, that Dutch sailor, Dirkstra, saw, jibed, hoist, and now extending a lead as he rips away from the rest of the fleet in that pressure.
Yeah, it was Dan Kilsby coming in.
Big change from the board there. You can see these guys that have favoured that same side as Dirkstra did. Better pressure, and Kilsby's dropped quite badly on that side. So he looked really good on that early stage because of that little pressure, but you can see the pressure difference. The darkness on the water still remains more positive on that right-hand side.
And of course, it's all very well for us to point out the dark patches on the water from this view, from our balloon camera. But when you're down there and your head's in the boat, it's a very different matter, far more difficult to achieve that here in the studio. But also onto your laptop, tablet, PC, whatever it is you're watching this on, you can go to sapsailing.com and analyse the data for yourselves as the second place boat.
There of that as we were on board with him. But we'll once we get a replay of that finish, we can be able to confirm what actually happened there.
I think we're just watching the tail enders now come into the finish line in what should be the penultimate race of the Musto Performance Skiff Regatta. We had Dan Kilsby of Great Britain cross the line early at the start of the last race. He had to turn round and start again and take his penalty turn. And in the end he finished 7th, so a costly mistake that he won't want to repeat this time. With the clock counting down, just 5 seconds, and the boats are released and the Netherlands go to the lead. Netherlands 175, that's Jelmer Kuipers. Followed closely by 7 boats, bow to bow. And they'll be trying to work out which side is best, where the puffs are. And the first half of the first leg is always a fascinating jostling for positions. As he closes in on the leader, with Kilsby in 3rd, and Kuipers, look at that, dropping down the fleet now. Dan Kilsby, well, he's just a few points behind Con in the overall leaderboard. He sailed the RS 800 until last year and then moved into this form of sailing. And this, his first Kiel Woche 2015. So it's very much a learning game for him, not just with the boat itself, but with the conditions here on the Baltic as well. One final jibe from schooling gives him 3rd, and then Roger Oswald takes 4th, and 5th place goes to another Briton, Kilsby. Which seems like a logical assumption to make, but it isn't always, because if we compare the distance as well, then we'll see how his distance travel. Well, there we go. So he was pretty much supreme out there, wasn't he?
Well, he
travelled the fastest and the shortest distance.
That's certainly the way to win races. If you're going quickest and doing the shortest distance, you're certainly going to see yourself near the front of the fleet. But you generally see the front boats with the quicker speeds because they've got better breeze, they've got clear air, they're not being bundled back in with the other boats. But again, it'll be interesting to how the manoeuvres work out. So a real split decision between them, all fairly similar. Again, we'll have worked out how they've all done. But again, the manoeuvres, we see them slow down. But again, it's trying to control that. They had good speed, good distance.
GBR 487, closest to the committee boat. Just the other side, just the opposite side of our camera shot. Ben Schooling, the overall leader. And the fleet is off. The final race of the Musto performance skiff for Kiel Woche 2015 is underway, with Russia 479, Yaroslav Petrov, the 44-year-old, taking the lead, and the start is confirmed as being a clean start, so no recalls there. But the top three sticking close together, sticking to the right-hand side. Do you think there might be an element of the others just letting them get on with it, not to spoil their championship? Or wouldn't that even enter their minds?
I don't think it enters anyone's mind. It's sort of, we know that the battles are going to be on, and to be honest, a lot of people will use that to capitalise on. Sort of, they know they're going to be more focused on each other rather than the actual general bigger picture of the race course. So this is a chance to see some other people appear near the front of the leaderboard. But with Dan Kilsby, looking at the results, is back in 9th. He was the one having this battle with Roger Oswald, who's obviously gone out and smashed this one at being up towards the front of the fleet, so applied huge pressure to Dan Kilsby, and that is the fight for 4th and 5th place on the leaderboard.
Roger Oswald finished. I think he was in 4th place in the end. There we go. Some great racing from him. He had nothing to lose. He pushed it a bit. He took some risks. But in the end, he did move up the leaderboard to finish 4th and just beat Dan Kilsby, who had, I think, results that he'll be disappointed with today.
Yeah, if